doubles and coffee, 75 countries, immigrant visas, pause to go to the USA, green card applications, citizenship, movement of the family for or to chase the American dream. Now many people might say, oh, as Mia Amor Motley said, if I had to give up my visa, I go give up top, no big thing. Okay. But the truth is that life is about choices and options. And the greatest foreign policy success in the history of Trinidad and Tobago has just been played out. And it was led by KAMLA Bissessa and implemented by the Honorable Sean Sobers of the UNC Coalition of Interest. KAMLA Bissessa not only protected Trinidad and Tobago's interests, protected Trinidad and Tobago from drug runners, gun smugglers, human traffickers, but also asserted her right to choose a major trading partner, historically which has been the USA, as opposed to the PNM, who had chosen Venezuela under a dictator without electoral results, without statement of poll, oppressive. They're releasing prisoners. Now, where are all those prisoners? How they got all those political prisoners? PNM didn't care about that. You could just lock up people because they oppose you. That's what PNM supported. And now Delcy Rodriguez is playing ball with the USA. The oil companies and the gas companies are going in to Venezuela to restart the oil and gas industry, to revamp, to re-energize, to invest so that Venezuela can rise. Trinidad and Tobago is on the right side of history under KAMLA Bissessa. And while all the PNM fake news media was supporting and promoting others, saying that KAMLA Bissessa was going against CARICOM, when you're making choices for your country and you put Trinidad and Tobago first, that's what you do. Blood flowing in the streets for decades, for 9.5 years, murders increasing astronomically under different ministers of national security under the PNM, Small Pin, Fitzgerald Talbot Hines, and Rowley as Prime Minister. KAMLA Bissessa said enough is enough. We need to stop the flow of guns and ammunition from getting into the hands of our children. We are not done yet. As you could see, the Attorney General, Honorable Attorney General, the Minister of Defense, the Ministers of National Security in general, and all the ministers are working assiduously to keep Trinidad and Tobago safe. But now you see that when CARICOM started to attack KAMLA Bissessa, when Ralph Gonzalez started to attack KAMLA Bissessa, now Brown starting to attack KAMLA Bissessa, she was protecting her citizens. Trinidad and Tobago is not on the list. Some of those countries who are now on the list, where there's a pause on immigrant visas to the USA, meaning a pause, meaning you cannot go, meaning automatic denial, meaning you have no choice, you have no ability to make changes and to move for the improvement of your family or your lot in life. Antigua, Barbados, Gallery, Mia, Motley, and we still want to know who authorized the kidnapping of Brent Thomas, who authorized a CARICOM Impacts jet to land with T&T-U.S. officers without paperwork, without extradition. We still want to know. Mia Amor Motley, you see, you all talk about CARICOM unity and CARICOM protection. CARICOM didn't protect Trinidad and Tobago while madmen were threatening, and the PNM was saying, oh my gosh, KAMLA Bissessa is putting us in harm's way. There's going to be war and so on. No war. But what you all say now, they're just gone silent after all the lies. It must be very difficult to be a PNM. They lost 15-0 and they jump out all over the place. All kind of so-called self-professed scribes and journalists who have no degree and studied nothing, talking about the voter turnout was low, 23%. The voter turnout was normal, over 50%, like the normal voter turnout. So what are you all talking about? Go and look at the history of THA elections for the last 25 years. It's approximately 50%. But they jump out But it's 15-0 because the people have been rejecting the PNM out of hand. Yesterday in a joint select committee, the PNM chairman called me, but when the government said, listen, we want to debate and discuss, and we want a record of what is discussed. We want the Hansard ladies to type up the truth for the population. Colvin but say no, he want that. And now we're going to get advice. So therefore the work of the people had to be adjourned because Colvin but running from the truth. He don't want you all to know the truth. He don't want verbatim notes. He want to be able to sanitize and summarize the minutes of those meetings. But the government will be transparent, just like the Prime Minister said. Antigua, Barbados, Dominica, Starboy of stupidity, scared. Now all your citizens under pressure, pausing, no immigrant visas whatsoever on a list of 75 countries, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know who not on that list? Trinidad and Tobago. And let me tell you something. As you all know, visa denials have been going up in the Caribbean for the last year, especially since the CARICOM support of Maduro, while government officials in different CARICOM nations were benefiting from largesse and rentals and money and oil and gas and all sorts of different things from Maduro, who is now in jail, locked up in Orange, awaiting his trial. The denials of citizens for visa, for visitor visa, or non-immigrant visa, the denials has been increasing in these countries. You see, when they pause the immigrant visa, what the policy then becomes is to look up your CAPEX, to have a policy of denial first, acceptance after. So any visa then becomes more difficult to get, and paying your fee that is quite large, and then being denied, and increasing the probability of being denied for a visitor visa. And you know, many people just take visitor visa and then overstay. That's what ICE running around doing now, while it's looking wild. It's very interesting. That's what they're doing. But now, Trinidad and Tobago has been spared that. Our children who would like to go to the USA for sporting events, to take part in some of the best competitions, whatever the sport, or for training camps, or to go for holiday, to go to Disney World, to Six Flags Atlantis. All the ladies who like to go and shop in the mall and buy fancy things. And Shamfa, you could still go and buy handbag and things, Shamfa. Never mind, you ain't no power, you ain't in your party dead. But you could go and buy a Louis Vuitton thing in USA without encumbrance, without the percentage and probability of denial going up. Trinidad and Tobago has been spared of that because of the foreign policy of KAMLA Prasad Bissessa. Had Rowley and Smallpin and the PNM been in power, Trinidad and Tobago would certainly be on that list. A pause on immigrant visas and increase in denials on visitor visas, making it more difficult and frustrating. Over 65,000 Trinidadian and Tobagonians go and visit the USA every single year. And if they go about 3 times, 3.2 times, which is average, that is 200,000 trips. You know, if the percentage of denials go up, that's 15% of the population who require or who desire to visit the USA. When denials of visas go up, it impacts those people, 200,000 trips. So understand what this is. The Guardian ain't put it on no front page. I ain't see the Express yet. But I go check here, but I feel it wouldn't be on the front page, even though that's the biggest story in foreign affairs in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, that KAMLA Prasad Bissessa saved the entire population who is intrinsically linked to the US. When we go there to work, we go there to Kaiso, the amount of carnival across in the USA, we go there for student visas. Could you imagine student visa denials going up because of a policy that there is a pause on immigrant visas, and the denial policy trickles down into non-immigrant visas and student visas? Imagine your child getting a scholarship to go and run for a university, train with the coaches or swim, and they're ready to join the team, and then they get denied. the I-20 or the student visa because of the policy of the government? Wouldn't that be painful? Well, that's the pain that Antigua, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts Nevis, that's the pain, St. Lucia, that they have to go through right now. But Trinidad and Tobago has been spared that pain because of KAMLA Prasad Bisesa. When UNC wins, everyone wins. Those who want to go, who want to migrate, those who want to apply for green card, those who want to apply for citizenship, them who want to go and buy house in the USA and all them kind of thing, and then those who want to visit, because the denial position at these embassies in those 75 countries across the globe has been changed. You are going to see greater denial for visitor visas. That is the policy of the USA. But KAMLA Prasad Bisesa stood on the side of the USA because of our population's intrinsic link to the USA for all the reasons that I suggested above, as well as investment, foreign direct investment, trade, but purchases of food. We get the bulk of our imports of food from the USA. So when a prime minister is sitting down there making decisions in your best interest, and a bunch of imbeciles from the PNM talking and criticizing, trying to support illegitimate regimes who are oppressing, attacking, killing its own citizens. 8 million Venezuelans ran from Venezuela, and you have Trinbagonian PNM saying, well, they're shocked that the migrants from Venezuela, the illegal and legal migrants, the registered and unregistered, who ran from Maduro, are celebrating when Maduro was captured. Imagine that illogical stupidity. Imagine an imbecile or imbeciles who would say that they are shocked that Venezuelans who had to flee the country, who love the country, but who can't live in the country because of a dictator, would celebrate when the dictator was held and captured and taken away to go to jail. That is the kind of stupidity that passes for politics under the PNM. But it has been rejected in Trinidad, and it has been rejected 15-0 in Tobago, and it is rejected again today in foreign policy, and it will be rejected, the PNM will be rejected in national security policy. This PNM will be rejected in policy across the board, in education. Look at Carnival, going smooth, all kind of opportunities across the board. Where the PNM crybabies about KAMLA attacking the orange economy and so on. One bag of nonsense. The PNM's politics of lies is over. So thank you, KAMLA Prasad Bisesa, on behalf of all the citizens who would like to go to the USA, who would like to migrate, who would like to visit, who would like to go and study, who would like to go and train and compete in sport, who would like to go and shop, because all these other countries now is pressure across the board from migrant down to visitor. Denials will increase. Last year, denials increased by upwards of 33% in most of these countries, especially in those in the CARICOM, and it will now even go higher. But Trinidad and Tobago has been spared of that. The 65,000 citizens that go annually to the US have been spared of that increase in denials across the board. And, of course, the 100% pause in migrant. The Rasta man from Trinidad who's a PNM all day that are mash up in 2020. I hope ICE don't catch you, boy. But you see, your brethren them could still come and meet you. They could still come and visit you. They could still come and line with you. Because the PNM is not in power. Because KAMLA Prasad Bisesa and the UNC won. So thank you, KAMLA. Let's say it. I'm not seeing it, you know. I'm not seeing it on social media. All they like about, oh gosh, the fines. But the roads get safer. I don't know about all that. I buy a side part of the government, but when I drive it, it has less wildness. All you check for yourself. Don't take my word for it. All you're impartial. Check for yourself. The discipline on the roads has improved. We're going on New Year 2026. Now we must continue to attack the indiscipline that leads to crime and high crime. We must keep it coming down, working together, using our brain. KAMLA Prasad Bisesa has utilized a foreign policy that has saved our economy and saved our opportunities and our choice. Thank you, KAMLA Prasad Bisesa. Bless.